We do buy some energy, which is necessary for our energy security. But I suspect, looking at the figures, probably our total purchases for the month would be less than what Europe does in an afternoon. So you might want to think about it. To do it my way and articulate it my way. Now, as Secretary Blinken has pointed out, we have made a number of statements which outline our position in the UN, in our parliament, and in other forums. And briefly, what those positions state is that we are against the conflict, we are for dialogue and diplomacy, we are for urgent cessation of violence, and we are prepared to contribute in whatever way to these objectives. I noticed you refer to oil purchases. If you are looking at energy purchases from Russia, I would suggest that your attention should be focused on Europe, which probably we do buy some energy which is necessary for our energy security. But I suspect, looking at the figures, probably our total purchases for the month would be less than what Europe does in an afternoon. So you might want to think about it. Given our energy security concerns, again, I don't want this whole subject to go off on a sort of a political note. Every country looks at its best options, and I think today an expanding India-US energy relationship, which, by the way, didn't exist some years ago. If my memory is right, you are the second largest LNG supplier to India, I think the fourth or the fifth largest crude oil supplier, a big partner in the renewable side, including the agreement which Secretary Blinken just mentioned. So we have, there is so much more going on in the world today. And a large part of it is really to fully explore the opportunities between India and the United States. Look, we watch what's happening in the world like any country does, and we draw our conclusions and make our assessments. And believe me, we have a decent sense of what is in our interest and know how to protect it and advance it. So I think part of what has changed is we have more options than we did before. I will look at us today. We are standing here for a 2+2 with a substantial defense collaboration which has happened in the last decade, which we have been discussing how to take forward. And this wasn't an option which was there for 40 years before that. So the world is changing. The world will keep changing. What we have to do in our profession is to watch it and see how your interests are best advanced in that. I think part of what we are doing is to press for a cessation of hostilities, which I think everybody would agree would mitigate matters and clearly make the world less unpredictable. We're also addressing the humanitarian situation. In fact, we have the Ukrainians have been in touch with us especially for the supply of medicines. We have already provided humanitarian relief to Ukraine, to some of the neighbors, and even as we speak, a shipment of medicines is being delivered or will be delivered very soon to Kiev. An equally big worry which is emerging is of food security. There are concerns across geographies of societies who are importing wheat or sugar or other foodstuff out of the conflict region. So we have discussed today, not just us, but I think the subject also came up in the virtual summit between Prime Minister Modi and President Biden, about what could India do to stabilize the global economic situation. And we are quite willing, and in fact we've already started responding to the need for greater food supplies, especially wheat most of all, but to some degree sugar as well. We have, even as we, at this moment, a number of countries are discussing with us the possibility of greater food supplies, including the World Food Programme.